Ah. Locked. Oh gosh. Wait a second. Let me save. Options. Save. Save over this game? No. Come on. 2. Ah, okay. Yes. Riddle. Let's see. We just click these things and unlocked. Yeah. Whoa. Hey, keep cool. Thank you. I guess the door's unlocked. Let's explore here a little bit more. This was my cell. Okay, let's not explore anymore because that's all there is. Oh. I still have my little friend, Mr. Arm. Leave him alone. Oh, I don't want
severed arm.
Yeah, I know. Can you open this door? Oh, Hercules! Hi?
This is control to Marine dropship Runic. Landing platform is in position. You are cleared to land Runic.
This is Marine dropship Runic. Now making final approach.
Okay.
Marine dropship Chelios standing by.
You guys better hurry. Another prisoner has escaped.
What?
I'm looking at him on the monitor now.
Hi. Can I wave?
He's in the guard room.
Oops.
You must not reach the excavation site.
We must not reach the excavation site. Okay.
Sit tight. We're almost there.
Yeah, whatever.
And we're bringing a little extra firepower to deal with your escaped prisoner.
Ooh, extra firepower.
He's going to be no trouble at all.
Okay, there's a robot in there. Let's just remove the force bars everywhere. Classified. Okay, that's my cell. That's the other guy's cell. This one is classified. C2 is classified, okay. Oh, there's something laying there. Damn it. I guess we have to get there later. Huh. Okay, that's Mr. I have one arm and I must scratch my balls. I have no mouse and I must scream. Okay, let's go into the other cell that we opened. Perhaps there's something awesome sauce in there. Hi!
A flute.
A flute. Okay.
A logbook.
I really hope I find some... Gosh, this is reading the game. This is enzymatic, Dane, of the Verticulum merchant ship Stellanoe Aquippus reporting. I'm writing this account in the unlikely event that it should ever find its way into the hands of the proper authorities. No doubt they are watching from the camera in my cell as I write. 15 days ago we left Stwalia bound for Bormac carrying medical supplies. Our trip had been uneventful until we experienced a small electrical fire on one of the subdecks that was quickly extinguished. What we didn't know at the time was that this fire had caused a power surge which traveled through our entire subsystems network and wiped a vital portion of data from our jump calculator. The omission of data was so slight that it was not detected by our redundant systems until after we had already made a jump to hyperspace. The strain placed upon our engines by the improperly calculated jump was so great that it took nearly 36 hours to power them down once the jump was underway. It is possible that while in mid-jump we passed near some sort of spatial singularity which slingshotted us far beyond our normal jump capacity. When we finally returned to normal space, we had not only wandered off at all charts, but we were also critically low on fuel. It is possible, although extremely unlikely, that RMF rescue and recovery could have calculated our position this far. There were no occupied planets within the range of our detection, and our jump driver was rendered inoperable. We set course for the nearest solar system. We subsisted on minimal reactions and power, broadcasting a distress signal. After 11 days of boosting our transmission to its maximum, there was no response. Then it appeared as if a miracle had occurred. As we neared a gas giant, we received confirmation that our distress signal has been picked up. We celebrated, believing help was on the way. The next day we were attacked by 2 small military-type dropships. We did not intend to become the first RMF ship in history to surrender to pirates, so we fought back. The first dropship was destroyed, but we lost our weapons and propulsion to a missile barrage from the second one. 7 of the 27 members of our crew died in the battle including Lieutenant Lin Nance. We were dead in the water. It was then that we learned the identity of our attackers, Mondites. We were boarded and 11 more members of our crew died in the room-by-room combat that followed over the next several hours. Among the dead was our Captain Lisson Rumerac and our first officer Findlay Smiles. This sad set of circumstances left me in command of the survivors. 2 more men died as we attempted to reach the lifeboat. Our only means of escape cut off, and facing a full company of armored marines, I gave the order to surrender. 3 of the men directly disobeyed my order and were subsequently killed by the attackers. During that exchange, another man attempting to surrender was also killed. The mercenaries then proceeded to raid a portion of our cargo, took the remaining 3 of us onto their ship, and blew what was left of the Agrippus into wreckage. She was 17 months away from being commissioned. When I returned from this voyage in 3 months, I was to be married to my fiancée Launa. I don't believe either one of us will be making it. Entry 2. The leader of this base is a man whom I believe to be a surgeon. I have seen him only once, when we were first brought here. He seemed very unconcerned with our presence, like he was preoccupied with something. The base seems to be a strange mixture of digging equipment, medical facilities, and little else. The world we are on is called Daedalus. It is certainly beyond the reach of the reticulum. It has probably never even been charted. Apparently, it is run by an independent group of Mondites who are carrying out some sort of secret operation here. They obviously saw our accidental presence as a security threat. The only thing I do not understand is why they have left us alive. They must not suspect us of spying because none of us have been questioned. The reticulum has historically been highly unresponsive to the taking of political prisoners or hostages. I am certain we shall be quite worthless as a bargaining chip, but we must be of some use to them, as seen during the last moments of the Agrippa. Simple mercy is not something that the characteristics among Mondites. It is impossible to judge the passage of time here. There is no view of the outside and our lights are kept on constantly. We sleep in shifts at varying times and lengths. It is useless to count them. We have been here for days. Could it be weeks? Today the 3 of us were escorted under armed guard and taken to some sort of medical center and physically examined. Once all of us were pronounced suitable, we were injected with some sort of chemical compound. In one man, a cargo handling specialist named Klima, it caused a devastating pain which left him writhing on the ground. He just lay there and could not get up, paralyzed with agony. In the other one, Parks, a system maintenance tech, it caused what must have been horrifying hallucinations. He looked around constantly, sometimes dodging things that weren't there, waving his arms. I just sat there waiting to find out what would happen to me. A strange calm just came over me as I watched the other 2 go through their internal tortures. After several hours it was over and it took us back to our cells. More tests the same as before. I saw the surgeon again, the base leader. He said the other results were inconclusive. Parks begged them to not inject him again. He fought them. I wanted to help him, but then my injection had kicked in. All I could do was sit there passively as they forcibly injected him with the chemicals. This round of hallucinations were evidently more terrifying than the first though. They had barely left the room and he began shrieking at the top of his lungs. He screamed and screamed until his voice completely broke. and then he was reduced to making these low, guttural hisses. Klima had long since passed out from the pain, so I was the only one in the room to watch what happened next. I tried speaking to Park several times, but he never once answered me. He just rolled around and around on the floor until I noticed the blood. It wasn't the disturbance brought the guards back that I saw that had really happened. Parks had clawed out his eyes. He was laughing like an idiot when they took him away. It was the last time I saw him. Park's cell is now empty. Only Klima and I remain. The leader of the base is searching. His name is Mastaba. I demanded to know where Parks was. His only response was, in the lake. The lake? He was utterly undisturbed by the fact that I am a merchant officer, or that he has killed crewmen and destroyed a ship of the RMF, and interfered with the secret reticulum. The Mercs had read our records. The reticulum would merely assume that we were lost in the jump. He looked at me from behind the blood-red mask he wore. I have claimed your ship, its crew and their respective remains by rights of salvage that have been done. You are now my property. The medical tests are becoming increasingly torturous now. I was sedated and taken to the medical room. There, all I remember is seeing some kind of robot. Then, nothing but a dream about Launa. Her face, her dress, just like on the night the picture was taken. When I awoke, I had been returned to my cell. Only now I feel like my insides have been crushed and I am marked with a series of scars across my midsection. Klima does not respond when I call him in his cell. Maybe they have him now. No one will tell me what they are doing to us, but I already know. Exploratory surgery. But why? They have tortured us all on a regular basis, but have yet to ask us a single question. I was taken back to the medical room, strapped onto the operating table, injected with something that made me increasingly lightheaded. This time Mastaba was there in person, only I couldn't see him. I could only hear his voice telling me that this was the last of the preliminary examinations. If I completed this final test, I would be ready. He didn't tell me for what. I demanded to know where Klima was. His response was, he died on the table you're lying on. No, he's with your other friend in the lake. Before I could say anything, I saw the arm of the robot come down over my body. I felt completely detached and unable to move as it began to burn an incision into my stomach. Mastaba stepped forward and reached inside of me. He turned to me and asked, "This is just the beginning. I promise you there will be a lot more to see. Would you like to stay awake?" I stared into his eyes for what seemed like hours. "No," I whispered. When I awoke, I was back in my cell alone. There is a new prisoner in the cell across from me. I cannot see him. He is lying unconscious in his bunk. At first I thought it might be Klima or Parks. Maybe another crewman from their gripper had managed to survive. But it wasn't. I have never seen this man before. There is something very large being moved into the cell next to mine. Parks must really be gone if they are putting his old cell to use. Whatever this thing is, it is enormously heavy, judging by the number of people and equipment they need to move it. Supervising this operation is another Mondite scientist. There is dirt on her uniform as if she'd been digging. I heard someone call her Dr. Asher. Ordering the man for her is the head guard that lurks around the cell block. His name is Kainan. Whatever is going into that other cell certainly sounds like it's a major security problem. Just starting to get my strength back from Dr. Mastaba's damned examinations. I saw Kainan walking through the cell block. "What's in that cell?" I asked him. "Just something that will probably kill us all. Nothing for you to worry about." The man in cell 3 is either still unconscious or he keeps to himself. He does not respond when I call out to him. Over the last few days I've seen Kainan walking around here looking increasingly nervous. I try to catch his attention, perhaps speak with him again, but he's all business. Still, there's something different about him. His expression does not have the cold acceptance of the other guards. He is intensely in thought and each movement is a jolt of released tension. How pathetic that my entire existence has been reduced to brief glimpses of people in the outside world. For all I know, I'm imagining these little things in an attempt to occupy my mind, to save it from the heart-stopping emptiness of imprisonment. I must hold on to the hope that I shall see Launa again. For the sake of my sanity, I must hold on to that hope. "The camera is off," said the voice. and I was surprised to see Canyon standing out my cell. They will never let you out of here, never alive, you know that? I nodded. Canyon's eyes start out into nowhere. I've seen these things they are finding, more of them every day, nightmarish. I mean, I thought what we do here was terrible enough. Do you want to get out? I was overwhelmed in confusion and disbelief. Kynan stared at me and I could see the realization come over him. He was thinking maybe he had made a mistake, that I might try to save... Oops. Ah, damn it.
Dane's logbook.
Dane's logbook. Certainly nothing to worry about. That I might try to save my life by turning him in. As an officer and a gentleman, I never considered this as an option. When I cleared my head from the shock of what he was saying, I managed to give the approximation of a nod. They say you are a flight officer. And Kanan said hopefully, Ensign RMF, I replied, snapping to attention and saluting him with my academy best. It was his turn to give me a strange look. Can you pilot a dropship like the one you came here on? I could. There's a dropship out on the platform. She was brought in on autopilot for maintenance. The crew and marines on board are all in cold storage. You need to understand we only get one shot at this. My ears strained to hear anyone else that might be listening. When? I said. First we need your new neighbor. He's the chosen one. That's why you're not nothing but an autopsy waiting to happen. They won't think twice about killing us, but maybe they will want him back bad enough that... He sounded less than convinced by his own words, and I sure didn't know what he was talking about. Maybe was all I could manage when he looked at me for a reply. We laughed nervously. At that strange and uneasy movement we became like old friends, jailer and prisoner closer than brothers, comrades in arms about to go into battle, together maybe for the last time. My personal access code number is 728. I need something. Why do I... 72809. He said. You might be able to use it to get out of a bad spot. But let's hope it never comes down to that. Before I even thought about it, I was giving him my last possession, the picture of Launa. Who's this? The wife? He asked. Not yet, but she will be. You missed that during the search when they brought me here. I could be going home. This absolute miracle was so unlikely and absurd to me that I started giggling like a schoolboy. Kenyon nodded like he understood and solemnly put the picture away without saying a word. He reached in between the bars of the cell and put something in my hand. Just as he did, I heard the doors to the cell block open and I quickly put it behind my back. 3 more guards came to the cell block and opened the door to cell 3. The man inside walked out with guns pointed at him, holding a hand in front of his weakened eyes. The new man slowly walked out of the cell block. The guards followed. As Kynan went, he looked back at me. He flashed me the sign of 5. It wasn't until the cell block doors closed again that I allowed myself to even notice the reassuring, familiar metallic heaviness in my right hand. A blaster. It was fully charged. We failed. I have been recaptured and Kanan is also a prisoner here now. The man from Cell 3 has been the subject of a monstrous experiment. He is no longer human. I don't know what he is now. For some period of time they have simply been beating me into unconsciousness whenever I show signs of awakening. I suppose they've just gotten tired of it now. Today the guards came for Kanan. He fought as best he could, but in the end they took him away. No sign of life from Cell 3. Kanan has been jabbering like a lunatic ever since they brought him back. He keeps screaming some conversation with his mother that must be going on inside his head. I can't see into his cell from here. I was awakened by the sound of an explosion in the cell block. 2 of the guards went to look in on Kanan. From what I heard, he must have been mauled one of them really bad. Kanan continues to get worse. All he does is growl and howl like an animal. The guards have just told me that now it is my turn to be taken back to the operation room. This journal has reached an end. No matter what occurs, know that I always loved you, Lorna. If I should somehow get a chance